Today's video, we're going to talk about making Google Ads guaranteed to work for your business, adding in this strategy to your business, and hundreds of other niche markets where you literally can open up business after business after business doing the same thing over and over and over again, baby, because it is extremely effective and extremely reliable at churning out profit when you institute it on and through Google Ads. And what is this method? This is taking and selling branded items on Google and Bing, if you want to add it in Bing for extra sales and profits, where map pricing is being enforced in that market. So this is a product selling opportunity and strategy related to selling products through Google Ads, where map pricing, which is minimum advertised pricing, and many niches out there, whether you're selling Nike shoes or Callaway golf clubs or TVs, Panasonic TVs, they will typically only sell to you as a reseller if you agree to not sell the product for underneath a certain price. That said, what this does is it creates an artificial market in that nobody's willing and able to compete on price except for you. You're going to compete on price because you are not going to be buying products from the manufacturer directly. You're going to be getting it through a third party, undercutting the competition. As a result, literally just clean up on Google Ads, because guess what? When you go to buy a pair of Nike Air 12s, and you can get it for 10% cheaper through one guy over another guy, when your shopping ads are showing up next to everybody else at this price and you're the cheapest one, guess what? Most of the people are just going to be going straight to you. And you can still make a decent profit margin doing it the way that I'm talking about in this video. And I've personally done now to tell you just how much this works. And I'm going to give you the numbers on the campaign where we did this, and you can see how much you're going to make for yourself. So stay to the end of the video for the actual case study where I go through the actual market where we've done this, what kind of money we're making, and therefore how much money you can make setting this same structure up for your business. For that matter, I'm going to get into the method, and then of course the results will come after. So what this is, like I said before, this is a method where you sell branded items. That is, people are looking for a Callaway Big Bertha golf club or a Nike Air Jordan 12s or a Apple iPhone 14, etc. You could do this in literally hundreds of markets. Most markets have minimum advertised price restrictions on it to where you cannot sell under a certain price for each item. You buy golf clubs from Callaway, they're going to want to make sure when you sell that new driver, you cannot sell it for less than $389. You could sell it for more than $389, but not less. And the reason for that is because naturally everybody, if they were undercutting each other, it'd be a race to the bottom, and the people selling would give shitty customer service because there's no margins there. It's there for a reason, legitimately. But hey, this is a channel where we talk about how to make massive amounts of money, of which, if you are just the one guy who can sell less than map for less than map pricing, you can make most of the customers come to you. And that's what you can and want to do, and why you're going to make literally millions of dollars in sales and hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in profit easily once you start doing this in that market. Here's the method. Step 1, find a map controlled niche. Find a niche like what we did in the golfing space, where everything is basically controlled by map pricing. Or if the whole niche isn't controlled by map pricing, at least pick a brand of item that you're selling that is controlled by map pricing. Callaway golf clubs would be one. They have the map pricing. Any Callaway product that you buy, it's going to be controlled by map pricing. You can set up a website that just sells Callaway golf clubs by itself. You specialize in that, which is a little weird, yes, but certainly you could just specialize in selling that one item. As long as Callaway isn't selling to anybody else in that market for their product, unless they sell at a certain price, now you're in business. Then, once you found your target, you're going to reach out to suppliers in that niche to buy a single item from them in bulk on a 30% discount, given that most branded product sellers will typically sell the map pricing will be set up to give you a 40% margin. Or in other words, for what you're supposed to sell it at, 60% will be what the product cost is that you have to buy it from them at, and then 40% is your profit margin. Because you're buying it from an intermediary reseller and not from Callaway directly, you don't have to play by the map rules because you're not buying it from Callaway. There is no rule anymore. You can sell it for wherever the hell you damn well want. The reseller, you may say, well, why would the reseller sell to you so you could undercut them? Number one, they're not going to know to do it. Depending on what you tell them, they may think something else entirely. But from what I've seen personally, because I've done this myself, and why I'm sharing this with you here, that if you tell them, hey, I'm looking to buy 150 Great Big Bertha Callaway drivers from you. I know your map pricing, which you can find out the map pricing from Callaway directly. I know your map pricing is X. This is what you have to sell it for. You're getting it from Callaway at Y, which is a 40% spread. I will buy 150 of these drivers from you at a 30 margin itself. In other words, you are selling to the public at 100. You're going to sell it to me for 70. You're getting it from Callaway at 60. You're going to make a spread of $10 per driver, but I'm buying 150 drivers from you right now today. So you're going to make basically $1,500 today buying these 150 drivers from you. And all you have to do is just sell me the 150 drivers. You're going to make $1,500 profit. All you have to do is load up your drivers, ship them, you're done. If you don't do it, I'm going to buy it from somebody in this space. Somebody's going to want to sell me these drivers at a 30% discount, take their $1,500 profit. It's free money. Are you going to do it, or are you going to let your competitor do it? Somebody's going to do it with me. I know they are going to. So you're going to take the money. It might as well be you. Do this with a guy that doesn't run any Google ads, because then it'll be, there's no reason not to do it. You're going to sell these on Google ads. I don't sell them on Google ads. Therefore, why do I really care? Even though they should care, certainly I'm not stupid here, because it'll suck the demand out of organic searches, and there's that. But you also can go into a local brick and mortar store in the golf space and do the same thing there. They're not even selling online. They don't give a shit if you're going to sell it for under map pricing online. You don't directly compete with them. And they may not want to do it because they don't want to order 150 drivers from the manufacturer or whatever. Somebody will do it in your space. That's what you're trying to do. Now, the reason why I say, ultimately, the amount of items that I mentioned, ideally, you're going to buy at least 100 items, because without that, you're not going to have any real leverage with the supplier, so to say, because if they're not able to make $1,000 profit on this deal, would be the absolute minimum to get them excited to actually do it. What you really want to have them do is to be able to make 5 to 10 grand profit on this deal. It's pretty damn hard to turn down $10,000 by simply ordering an order from the manufacturer and shipping it to you in terms of profit. They're not going to turn it down for the most part. And then with that, you can even play a game here, and you can reach out to 10 guys and suggest that you want a 25% discount, lock that down. If you got that locked down, you could ask for a 30% discount to the others. If you've got that locked down, you could try to go for a 35 and then just back out of the ones that did not give you the same discount. You could easily do this. In fact, I recommend you do this if you're going to actually use this strategy. So you get the maximum discount possible, because that extra 5% is going to matter another 30% more profit on the back end when you do this. Ultimately, though, do it with just one item. Now, on your website that you're going to have, that you're selling the Callaway golf clubs, yeah, you're going to have all the Callaway golf clubs on there so you don't look like a sketchy company. But ultimately, you're only going to advertise the one driver that you've bought 250 of, and that you spent 25 grand to acquire, and you're just going to sell the shit out of that one driver that you now got a 30 margin on, and that you can sell under map pricing so it'll move super quick. Next step in the process is you set up your product on your website and price it at 10% under typical map pricing. So everybody's selling it at 100, you're selling it at 90 itself. And then you're going to add upsells, up the yin yang on that product as well, which I'm going to talk about that a bit more in a second here. To advertise and sell, once you've bought in the 250 drivers of the one model that you may you bought in bulk from a supplier where they gave you and sold to you to where you got less margin on the item than buy it from the manufacturer, but now you can sell it under MAP pricing. You're going to set up a standard shopping campaign, which I normally advocate for regular PMAX campaigns to run shopping placements, but not in this case. You want to run regular shopping. In that regular shopping campaign, you're going to just upload the one item. And actually, you could over time do more than one item, but trust me, it works better here if you just do the one item, you buy all 250 instead of doing a smaller deal, because you only have to land one deal with one person. You upload that one item to your shopping, to Google Merchant Center, and then therefore run it through your shopping campaign. And you're going to heavily negative your campaign so that if somebody's not typing in the exact make and model search for that item, so if it's a Callaway Big Bertha 12, exactly, your ad's not going to essentially show up. So unless they're looking for that exact item exactly, your ad doesn't show up. Therefore, every single click that you get is going to be hyper quality. And all you have to do this is just every search term that you find that's not that exact term, you're going to negate out. So after spending about $1,000 or so on advertising, 80% of what you show up for is just an exact product by make and model and exactly what you want. And because when somebody types in that Callaway Big Bertha 12, and there's you and 7 other guys that show up next to you, they're all at $100 and you're at $90, you're getting click-through rates 3 times higher than anybody else in that space. And then what does that do? Guess what? Google system's going to say, aha, this guy right here, everybody loves more than anybody else. So what we're going to do is we're going to charge them way less per click. And yes, you're getting 10% less margin than the other guys, but guess what? They're going to lower your cost per click by a hell of a lot more than 10%. It's going to be lowered by 20 to 50%. So you're going to make up for any reduction in margin you normally would have got just through the reduction in cost per click, given that the higher click-through rates you get with your shopping ads, the lower the cost per click is going to be. Not only that, but your conversion rate is going to be much higher than your competition. And that goes to lower your cost per click even more. On top of that, of course, more people converting means you get more ROI from your campaign as well, naturally. When you are priced under everybody else, guess what happens? You get people searching around at the last minute looking for who's got the cheapest Callaway Big Bertha 12. They find you, they buy from you. The other guys had to spend money developing the market, finding somebody who wants a driver and a Callaway driver and a Big Bertha 12 driver. And then they wanted to go search who's got the cheapest one. And then you're getting them at the last second, which is the cheapest way to get in front of them and get them, is when they're typing in that exact make and model number. And you have conversion rates that are twice as high as anybody else from their ads or higher. Then you also, with your shopping campaign, have target ROAS bidding. ROAS being like ROI. You tell Google that I need to have at least a 400% ROAS minimum, because with my margins, I need that at least to make money here. And then Google's just going to simply go to town, getting you sales at the ROI minimum that you need. You're going to add a bunch of negatives to make sure you only show up for what you want, which is the make and model searches. And after you've spent a few grand, there's no question that you're going to have that minimum 400+% ROAS that you need to be profitable with the margins that you have. And now you're making money from now on. That product is now profitable. You just go back to your supplier every 90 days, do the same deal again. He's supplying you with discounted items that you can sell under MAP, and then you just suck the life out of that whole product and niche itself. And it's all just coming to you, baby. Then you're going to watch your MER ratios and adjust your ROAS as needed. Ultimately, you mathematically calculate what you need as far as a ROAS itself. And that depends on how big of a discount you got. The bigger the discount you get, the less ROI or ROAS you need to be profitable and that you can scale at. Ideally, you be able to scale at no more than 400% ROAS, 300% being the best. And also because your ROI tracking in your ad account's not going to be great or perfect, you want to keep an eye on your overall sales through your website as a ratio of that to ad spend. Find a ratio there that you could accept. And then once you hit it, scale the crap out of your ads. Why? Because when you start advertising in the shopping campaign, guess what? Over time, you're going to get organic rankings. You're going to get people who refer you because you're the cheapest one in that market. You're going to get people to buy again from you, other Callaway products, or as a Callaway buyer. And you start making money this way as well. And then of course you got upsells, which said I was going to come back to that. You got that as well. That is, when somebody comes to buy your cheapest of the cheap Callaway Big Bertha 12, anything you can get them to buy at the last second is all just pure extra profit. Back in the day, like even like you would see like a pocket fisherman product on, it was like one of those made for TV products. You'd see them during a commercial where you're watching The Price is Right and commercials come on, you got the pocket fisherman there. Guess what? If you're wondering how they can afford to advertise on national TV and only charge $20 for this stupid pocket fisherman, it's because they don't make money on the pocket fisherman. No, they don't. They make money on the upsells. Somebody buys the pocket fisherman, and if you don't believe me, still to this day, you use TV ads, you can see this. They have a whole chain of upsells behind that pocket fisherman. You're calling up about that because it's cheap and it looks cool. Then they're going to try to upsell you the warranty program. Then they're going to try to upsell you fishing lures to go with the pocket fisherman. Then, hey, do you want the extra quality tackle box kit that goes with it? Then, hey, you know, guess what? You made a good decision there. We have a new deal with a vitamin company. You want the vitamins, something that everybody needs universally, basically. And they'll get an upsell on that. And so what they do is they see how many upsells that you can get. And some of them you say no, some of you say yes. All they got to do is to get you to buy at least 2 of the 5 upsells. And that's all where their profit comes from. So instead of it being a $20 order that just covers the advertising, they got you to buy 2 other things. And now they made a good amount of profit. And all they're doing with the testing is, yes, they're trying to figure out where the ad should run. But beyond that, more importantly, is they're testing the upsells. How many upsells, how to execute the upsells, and ideally what they're going to do is they're going to upsell infinitely. And if you look like you're going to back out, they'll say, okay, I'll put your order through. But if you keep saying yes to the upsells, it's going to be forever upsells. Just wring out every last dollar revenue out of this person as possible. As it comes to you with this methodology, you're going to do a variation of that same exact thing. They buy the Big Bertha 12. Let's offer them golf balls. Let's offer them tees. Let's offer them a tour membership. So like it's a package where you can buy and you get discounted tee time or greens fees at courses all over the country with this membership program. Let's sell them. You know, you buy the driver today, we'll give you the irons package to go along with it. And we'll give you those for 20% off, but only right now. If you come back later to buy these irons, we're not going to give them to you for 20% off. And then you start making money that way. And ultimately, you play it the same way. Once you got your base campaign going and it's paying for itself, you're making a little money. It's how many upsells can we add? How do we optimize the upsells? There's the highest uptake rate possible. Testing the shit out of the upsell process. And with Shopify and sites like it, there's one-click upsells where you can easily say, okay, when they're checking out, let's offer them this. Oh, that didn't work, let's offer them this. Oh, that didn't work, let's offer them this. Oh, let's add 2 upsells, let's add 3. And you just keep testing it. And so even though you're not making too much on the front end with that driver that you've got to sell at a discounted price, it's paying its own ad spend. And then whatever upsells you can get them to buy, that's all just pure free money that comes out of the sky. And that's how you make the real money with it. So that instead of making a 10% margin after ad spend, you're making a 40% margin because you get the average person to buy at least 1 of 6 upsells that you've perfectly optimized. That's the other part of the formula. Now, I mentioned I've actually done this myself in the golf club space. So I'm going to go through the numbers on this so you understand just how profitable this is and how it works. Before you do, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you absolutely should. I've got the best information on how to make money with ads that you're going to find it elsewhere or anywhere else online. So if you haven't subscribed yet, you should. I've got a great blog on my site where I've got my written work there. You can find that at guaranteedppc.com/blog. Check that out as well. Beyond this, if you have any questions about anything I've covered here, about how to do it, what I did a certain way or whatever, you can always ask me any kind of question like that in the comment section or any marketing related question. I love answering you guys' questions. You also can reach out to me through my Discord group. I've got a link to my Discord in the video description, as is you can reach out to me through my site at guaranteedppc.com, of which on my site I offer coaching and consulting. I offer full-on PPC management services where Our firm will do all of your ads. I'll personally strategize all of it for you and get you guaranteed results in that we do not charge management fees until we get you a certain profitability from your ads in addition to whatever you had before. I also offer here at our firm templates. So if you're in a market that you want to be in that we've been in already and we're operating in a different city or country that you're in, you could buy the template from us outright. The ads, the landing pages, all of it that work for your market. And you just copy paste those into your ad account and get the same results we did, which I've got hundreds of these templates now because we've been in business a decent amount over a decade. So we got tons of these templates and I can tell you the results you're going to get with it up front. If you're interested in that, let me know as well. Beyond this, so the golf club, what we had was I saw somebody else. This is not my idea per se. I saw one of our clients doing this exact method. I was like, damn, this is really smart. And I already knew when I saw them doing it that if you're selling branded items and you could sell for less than MAP, on shopping, you're just going to clean up because that always matters. On shopping, there's a certain percentage of just going to click on the cheapest one and buy it. And it's like shooting fish in a barrel. So we did this in the golf club space. I partnered with a couple of guys. I'm just running the ads and taking a piece of the revenue. 10% is what we price under MAP, which we played around with this number. We did 5%, we did 15%. The sweet spot is like 10% basically. And this obviously can vary based upon the product and the market and all this, but it's enough to get people to jump on your ad at a very high rate, increase the click-through rate by a good 50 to 100% easily, because it's cheaper and without giving away so much margin that you've got to make it up with so much volume where it's just not worth it or still worth it. So for what it's worth, 10%, and we had a 30% margin. Ultimately, we were able to sell up 10% under MAP with still having a 30% margin or 30% gap between the price of the product that we're paying for it and then what we're selling it for. Also, what we were ultimately paying, because this is an item that people are just hot to trot for. Like if you want something that'll really work good, I didn't do it in this space, but I've seen it before where we sold open box TVs, selling LG 27 TV and selling it when people type in that exact model number and selling it for slightly less than what the new ones are worth. And you'll get 1,000% ROAS doing that because everybody just wants the cheapest price when they're buying that damn TV. We did that exact thing in this space. Essentially, people are they know they're going to buy this item. It's just a matter of who. We're getting them at the last second. Our ad spend only ended up being 10% of what the cost of the item is. Essentially, I have a 20% margin on every sale made. That doesn't even count the upsells, which we're not even done testing and optimizing. 1 million in sales volume within 24 months and starting with only a 50K initial starting investment in terms of capital. We spent 50K to get the website together and the cost of the initial order of the product. So yes, you may say, Corey, I don't have 50K to do this. Well, you could easily do this with 10 if you were really to get scrappy about it and you had to spend 10K on product and then put a website together yourself and spend another couple grand to get the ad spend started and you're good already. I've got time is money to me, so I'm not going to do that because I don't have to, I don't want to. But easily you can say between 10 and 50K investment startup capital, you can buy 100 to 500 units from another existing supplier in the market. It's enough volume to get them to agree to sell it to you for less than MAP, so to say, and for you to get in the game. And then obviously, like I said, just start out with one item. You don't have to have much money up front. Once that starts making money, do another item, another item, another item. Start up a whole website and store off of this one item in terms of the capital you're making from it. And then that's it. You can see how quickly this scales because unlike, as I talk about all the time on this channel, how it takes a long time to get campaigns profitable and you should invest what you can afford to lose at the beginning because it can easily take a lot of time, 6, 12, 8, sometimes even 18 months before you're at break even on a campaign on Google, depending on how much competition there is in the market. For selling branded items, especially when you're lower than the competition, it works like that basically. Why? The big difference there is when you're selling a mailbox or you're selling a pottery wheel, whatever, when they don't know your brand, you super hard to sell because they don't know to trust you and they'd rather go with somebody who's more trusted if they can, or at least they're going to check around a lot before they're going to buy. When they already are searching for a branded item, they already trust it. It's just a matter of, is it going to be you, or you? And when you're the cheapest one, you've already made it easy for them to just buy from you. So the time it takes to get a campaign profitable is minuscule compared to selling your own branded item. And if you're just starting out with a little bit of money, I recommend going this instead of doing your own branded item. Sell your own branded item once you already got, fat stacks already from doing this. And as a result of that, you'll scale super quick. You'll turn your money into more money much quicker selling a branded item under MAP pricing that you can get through a third party, and so that you are able to do this. And sole manufacturer can't do squat to you. They may not like it. The other people in the market may not like it, but it works, baby. And so ultimately, are you making the market a worse place? Technically, yes. Is the consumer benefiting? Hell yes, also as well. Ultimately, you may piss off some people and they might chase you off the market one way or another. Doesn't matter, because you can easily just do it in another market. So I'm not concerned about it. Nevertheless, that is exactly the method that I was wanting to talk to you about here today about Google Ads. It's guaranteed to work. This is 99.9% effective. If you do this, it's going to work. It's a great way to start a business. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section. See you later. If you want to see another video, click here. It is one of my best ones.